Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 16 in my Jordan career mode on Grand Prix Manager 2. Now I know what you're thinking, because it says in the bottom left corner, it doesn't say Jordan, it says Minardi. Now this is a response to the most popular comment in the most recent Grand Prix Manager 2 video, which was suggesting, and it's a comment which has come up a few times before, which is why don't I do another series with another team on this game? Well, let me just quickly say, so hang on, let me head to the Constructors Championship of this career mode. Well, oh no, because that's the Drivers Championship, well either way it doesn't really matter. Right, Constructors Championship. So you got the top teams, Benetton, Williams, Ferrari, Pacific are apparently doing well, but that's just a glitch when you don't. If you don't watch through the race, if you just skip all of the sessions, Pacific always do well. Don't know why, well not always, but they just win sometimes, it's stupid. But the top teams, Benetton, Williams, Ferrari and McLaren, I could do a series of them, but what would be the point? If I was happy to do a series with either of those teams, I would have done it months ago. But what's the point? Because let's say even McLaren, the worst of those top 4 teams, I would manage McLaren and they would already have a works engine deal, and then we'd just do a season and win. Because I would just abuse the do or die qualifying and win. And even if I didn't, I mean, it wouldn't be fun, because I'll be taking a team that's already at the top and making them win. And then if you go to the midfield teams, Jordan obviously I've done mine with, Ligier and Sauber, it would be an exact repeat of this series with Jordan. It would be an exact repeat. Because Jordan were a midfield team, we abused the do or die qualifying, got a works engine deal, and then dominated. And it would be the same with Ligier or Sauber, exactly the same thing would happen. Tyrrell and Arrows, I don't know about them. I might be able to physically do a series of them. I'm not sure. But I know for a fact Minardi and 40, or even Simtek and Pacific if I was really brave, but certainly with Minardi, because I tried it with Minardi. This is the game save. I tried to do something with Minardi. I just cannot do it. Even now that I've played the game some more, and I've actually learnt more about the game doing this series, I cannot do something with Minardi, I cannot do something with 40. I mean, I'll show you with Minardi. I mean, what are we on? We're on the 1999 season, so that's the 4th season. We're over halfway through the 4th season. Yep, and we're just absolutely nowhere. So, I mean, yes, you could argue that the drivers I've got aren't brilliant because I needed paid drivers. To be fair though, Ricardo Rosset isn't too bad of a driver. Katayama's done brilliantly for Ferrari in the Jordan career mode, and then the test driver doesn't really matter because he's a test driver. But I mean, look, I only just got Mugen Honda engines this season, and that was an improvement on the engines you start off with, the Ford engines you start off with, and every other kind of better engine supplier apart from Lamborghini refused to supply me anyway. They either said that I wasn't good enough in the championship or that I wasn't financially stable, which is a joke because I'm making tons of money per race. But yeah, I've got Mugen Honda engines, but this is it. Much like with 40, I've hit a brick wall where I cannot get a better engine, but I can't score points. And I'll probably just cut away now to midway through this race in this career mode to show you that I'm not going to get anywhere with Minardi. Well, here are the qualifying results. Ricardo Rosset's in 5th, Katayama's in 10th. Again, that was having abused the do or die qualifying, so the best we could possibly hope for is 5th. I guarantee you we won't finish there, and if we do, well, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, look at that. Alesi was 1 second off of Barrichello. Rosset was 42 seconds. Now he's 49 seconds behind Barrichello. Now he's 56 seconds behind Barrichello. Alesi in 4th is still only 1.5 seconds behind. A minute 3 seconds behind. So what are we losing? 6, 7 seconds a lap? It's ridiculous. Katayama's passed a couple of people, only because a couple of people have retired. But here's the thing. I've got the best personnel. Like, I've got, a decent chief designer. I think I've got McLaren's ex-chief designer. And, I've got the best engineers, commercial managers. I've done exactly the same stuff as I did in my Jordan career mode, but apparently when I replicate that onto Ferrari or not Ferrari. If I replicate that onto Minardi or 40, I just never ever get anywhere. I've got Mugen Honda engines. I can't really get any better engines. I certainly can't get an engine to win the championship until I finish in the top 3 in the Constructors' Championship, which I'm never going to do here. I guarantee you though, the second I pit, I'll be away down the field. So Rosset was in 5th, he's been lapped by Kelvin Burt, who's in 4th. The entire top 4 have lapped him at least once already. So he's going to come in for his pit stop, he was in 5th, and he's going to drop down to 8th because of course he was holding up a massive train. There were a load of people who couldn't get by, but the second Rosset is in the pits, they have got by. And there you go, he was in 4th, but I mean, even look now, because Villeneuve, who's taken Rosset's position in 5th, Villeneuve is a lap behind Kelvin Burt, and that was Ricardo Rosset's doing. But yeah, that's the point I'm trying to get across, is there's no point doing a series with a top team because, I mean, it would be pointless as far as I'm concerned. Ligier or Sauber, it would be the same deal. Tyrrell or Arrows, to be fair, I don't know, but certainly with Minardi or any team worse than that, I'll be stuck in this exact position where I physically can't get any better. I've got the best people, well, I've got the best personnel designers and all that. I've got the best engines I could possibly get. I mean, the only thing I can do better are the drivers, but I mean, it's taken me this long to actually get financially stable to be able to afford a decent driver anyway. But unless the drivers are worth 2 laps halfway into a race, so yeah, unless a better driver is worth 4 laps on Ricardo Rosset, you know, I don't think the drivers in of itself will solve this. So yeah, I mean, that's just to comprehensively prove, especially if you're new to the channel and never saw the previous videos I did on Grand Prix Manager 2. Yeah, this is why I'm not going to be doing a career mode with another team. Anyway, returning back to the Jordan career mode, and we'll have a look at the Drivers' Championship because of course that is a direct reflection of the race results on the previous Grand Prix around Jerez. It was a Benetton 1-2, a Ferrari 3-4 and a McLaren 5-6. And we didn't score any points, partly because I don't have a Jerez set up, and partly because, well, Olivier Panis spun off, but it was irrelevant anyway because we weren't ever in contention to score any points. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. The drivers we're going to have for next season. Now, I did actually talk about this quite a lot in the previous episode, but then I cut it out because, well, I've rambled on for a long time, which, I mean, that is what I do, but, I mean, that was partly because this situation is extremely confusing. Because, of course, I still want a French driver, but I don't really want Olivier Panis. I just want change. I don't really want to stick with the same driver season after season after season, especially a mediocre one like Olivier Panis. Now, I was going to get good old Jean Lacey, because he's in the experienced drivers pool. The problem is, well, there's 2 problems. Firstly, because he's an experienced driver, I'd have to get him in immediately. And I thought that's fine, I'll just get him in as a test driver. However, well, the problem with getting him in as a test driver, oh no, hang on. But as you can see, Jean Lacey says we're not competitive enough to consistently win races. He didn't say that prior to the Jerez Grand Prix, but now he's saying it now, which in fact actually is another reason why I can't progress in the Minardi career mode, because no top driver wants to join me there. But yeah, so Jean Lacey's a tricky one. Gerhard Berger I want to keep, so I will probably extend his contract. I don't want to keep Olivier Panis, and also, if you look at the drivers, everyone in red I cannot sign because they're already under contract for next season. But yes, I've decided, despite the fact you've got Herbert, Irvine and Brundle there, and Damon Hill, although Damon Hill I wouldn't get, I'm going to get Frentzen. No, sorry, I meant to click Frentzen, because he's German. He's German and his driving stats at the moment are better than Brundle's anyway. So, I'm going to get Heinz-Harald Frentzen for next season, because if worse comes to worse and we can't get Jean Lacey or anyone else like Jean-Christophe Bouillon or just anyone who's French, if I can't do that, then I'll get Mercedes engines because Heinz-Harald Frentzen is German and Mercedes engines are almost as good as Renault engines. Certainly Mercedes, Ferrari and Renault, you want to have at least one of those 3 engines. Bloody hell, Gerhard Berger, he is demanding a lot of money. A stupid amount of money. Because, I mean, every time a driver renegotiates their contract, they want a pay rise. So I'm going to get Gerhard Berger for 2 seasons, just so it's actually worth paying him this amount of money. But even 7.5 million he doesn't want. So I'm going to try 8 million. If he doesn't want 8 million, he doesn't even want 8 million. I don't even know why I'm still negotiating with him. I'll tell you what, I will try 8.25 million. If he doesn't want that, then I'm really going to have to strongly consider not getting him. Right, there you go. He's finally happy with 8.2 million. So we're stuck with Gerhard Berger for the remainder of this season and the next 2 seasons. Heinz-Harald Frentzen is joining us. The test driver, yeah, I would like to get Jean Alesi, but he doesn't really want to be with us. I could just get Taki Inui for the rest of the season, or I could talk to Jean Alesi after the next Grand Prix to see if he wants to join us. The thing is though, is if he wants to join us, we're going to have to pay simultaneously Gerhard Berger, Olivier Panis's and Jean Alesi's salary. So that's 3 massive salaries we're going to have to pay, and I'm not sure if we can sustain that. I could get Taki Inui in as a test driver and try and get Jean Alesi at the start of next season. The thing is though, is if I leave it till the start of next season, someone might have signed Jean Alesi, which is why I've got Heinz-Harald Frentzen, because I can't guarantee the fact that I will be able to get Alesi. So, do you know what? I'll hold off getting a test driver for now. I'll hold off on that for now, and I'll see what the situation's like after the Brazilian Grand Prix. So here we are at the end of practice, and I've remembered to fit on some new tyres because I'm not going to be doing qualifying, obviously. I'm just going to let it do itself, and if I don't select a new set of tyres, they'll try and qualify on those tyres, and it'll just be a mess. So, yes, we've actually set some decent times. I know not every team has gone out in practice yet, but all of the big hitters have. In fact, even Damon Hill in the Sauber has gone out as well. But as you can see, Ferrari, for the time being, are out on top. Both of their drivers have done 15.4s, and then it's both Jordans, both Williams, both McLarens, both Benettons. Amazingly, Benetton have gone from being the quickest team to the 5th quickest team. But in practice at the previous Grand Prix, Benetton were the 3rd quickest team, and then in qualifying they ended up taking 1st and 2nd. Oh, so here we are in qualifying. It's about to start, and it's about to end, and we've actually taken pole position and 2nd place. I mean, we've set pretty much the same times as we did in practice, but Ferrari have gone a second a lap slower. More than that, actually, 1.4 seconds a lap slower. Benetton, once again, I don't think have actually improved their pace on practice, but most people have gone slower, so Benetton have actually jumped 2 teams from practice, which is exactly what they did at the European Grand Prix around Jerez. They jumped 2 teams from practice to qualifying. So it's both Jordans, both Ferraris, both Benettons, both Williams, both Saubers, both McLarens, both Minardis, both Pacifics, both Arrows, both 40s, and the team that didn't qualify because they were 3.5 seconds over the 107% time is Simtech. Frank Lagarush, or however you pronounce his name, I mean, as I said, I've never heard of him prior to playing Grand Prix Manager 2, so I've never heard of a Frank Lagarush, or whoever he is. No idea when he raced or anything, but whoever he is, he beats Kelvin Burt. So I've reinstated the formation lap, so will there be any drama here? David Coulthard. I'm pretty certain that's not the first time he's stalled his car in the formation lap. So we've got the championship leaders Benetton on the 3rd row, Ferrari on the 2nd row, and Jordan on the 1st row, being led by Olivier Panis, and the 1998 Brazilian Grand Prix is underway. And in fact, has Gerhard Berger beaten Panis off the start? He has! Gerhard Berger is now leading the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is a slight shame because I gave Olivier Panis the... Well, he's going to be coming in the lap later as Olivier Panis, so he might actually end up jumping Gerhard Berger, but, well, hey, the race strategy... I know in real life F1, the race strategy is determined by the driver who's leading, whereas for me it's because I can't be bothered. Well, I can't really change it because of the fuel loads, so it's actually determined by whoever qualified on pole position or whoever qualified ahead. So, Berger's leading, but if Panis can stick with him, Panis might jump Berger in the pit stops. Barrichello once again is coming into the pits very early. He did the same thing at the previous Grand Prix and it didn't work out for him. Sure, he still finished 2nd, but, I mean, he was, 20 seconds behind his teammate come the end. Panis... Oh, you're kidding. This happened again. I think this happened last season at the Spanish Grand Prix, where Panis did a lap and it got discounted away from him. It was just a glitch. And it's happened again. I mean, Panis, I like to talk about the fact that he isn't that great and he keeps retiring. And while that is true, he also gets extremely unlucky. Somehow, and I have no idea how, both Ferraris are leading. I don't ever remember both Ferrari drivers coming into the pits. And in fact, Gerhard Berger, he's about 20 seconds behind both Ferraris. So, maybe they haven't come into the pits, but... I mean, I don't know, because they must have come in the pits by now. Lap 33, the tyres won't survive, because we've got the best tyre supplier. So, the tyres would have blown up, never mind the fuel. So I have no idea what's going on here, but both Ferraris, they've somehow jumped Gerhard Berger by 20 seconds, and I don't have a clue how on earth that's possible, because in practice we were a similar pace, in qualifying we were a second a lap quicker, so how Ferrari have beaten us is anybody's guess. Right, well, Katayama has finally come into the pits. Irvine came in a couple of laps ago, so Gerhard Berger is back in the lead of the Grand Prix. He's only, though, what's that, 15 seconds ahead of Katayama? 21 seconds, I mean, of course, if they're fueled up to the end, both Ferraris, they're going to have more fuel, so they're going to be weighed down by that. So, Berger, in these next few laps, he's going to have to try and extend out an advantage, 27 seconds ahead, but Berger's going to be coming in very, very soon. 53 to 71, that's 28. 13.7 seconds in the pits, but I think... Well, Katayama has jumped us, but Eddie Irvine hasn't. Let's have a look, so... No, that's Panis. Berger is there, and Katayama's there. So I think we've just got out ahead of Eddie Irvine. Right, so Katayama, providing he doesn't retire or doesn't come into the pits again, Katayama's won the Grand Prix. And I have no idea how, because if he's done a one-stop strategy around Interlagos, that's genius. That's absolute genius. Eddie Irvine we should beat. Berger's a better driver. I believe we've got the better car, but Ferrari, they really have turned up to this season. And, well, I don't know, it's going to be close. I mean, our tyres, that's the other thing, our tyres have got more life left in them, so hopefully Gerhard Berger should be beating Irvine, and in fact Irvine slowed down a lot there, so who knows. I mean, well, Olivier Panis, I've kind of forgot about really, because, well, he got screwed over by a stupid glitch. Katayama just retired. I was going to say that Olivier Panis is in 8th because of that stupid glitch that screwed him over. I'll put in a lap spare fuel. But I was going to say that Panis got screwed over by that stupid glitch and he's in 9th. Well, now he's in 11th, but he's going to gain a place because Uko Katayama has retired. Uko Katayama! I mean, I said not that long ago that Katayama, providing he doesn't have to pit again and providing he doesn't retire, he's going to easily win the Grand Prix. But he's retired. What a shame. I mean, I'm going to keep an eye on Eddie Irvine's race because if Irvine doesn't come into the pits again, that means that Katayama wouldn't have done. And that meant that Katayama would have won this race fair and square. But there you go. And in fact, I think... Well, I know Katayama won the Canadian Grand Prix last season, but I can't remember if we finished that race or not. Or what on earth happened to us. Because I would have... Irvine's retired now. Ferrari could have got a double podium finish, and none of their cars are going to make it to the end. Alright, well, who knows? I don't think they would have stopped again, but... Oh, well, I mean, we've got extremely lucky. Apparently, we've got tons of excess fuel. Very strange, but apparently, Gerhard Berger, he's won the 1998 Brazilian Grand Prix. Schumacher's in 2nd, Häkkinen's in 3rd. I don't know how Michael Schumacher got into 2nd. I mean, it's Michael Schumacher. He's a brilliant driver. You know, he will pull off miracles, but I swear he didn't qualify that far up. No, but... Well, that was a strange race anyway. I don't have a clue what happened because Berger ended with about 10 laps extra fuel. I could have done the maths wrong. Yeah, I think it is 18 laps, isn't it? Maybe it was. Either way, it doesn't really matter because we made it to the end anyway. It doesn't matter if I put in 10 laps too much fuel or not. Berger has come 1st. Olivier Panis came 8th, but Panis got screwed over. Judging by those results, I mean, you know, including the fact that both Ferrari guys retired, we would have got a 1-2. Katayama spun off, and so did Irvine. Oh, if I was Jean Todt, yep, he would have been the team principal back then. If I was Jean Todt, I'd be having some very, strong words with both of their drivers, because Katayama, you kind of expect it. He's not a good driver. I know he proved himself in the last season to be a very good driver, but Katayama has joined... Katayama joined the team as a paid driver. He still is paying for his seat at Ferrari. But Katayama joined the team with zero expectations. I guess so did Eddie Irvine, because he would have joined the team as a number 2 to Michael Schumacher. But, Katayama joined the team and was expected to be bad. And then he proved to be quite good. 14 points, that is a massive amount of points to lose out in the Constructors' Championship. 14 points, that could easily change the outcome of the Constructors' Championship. Well, the good news is that Jean Alesi is now happy to join us. He's seen his former teammate Gerhard Berger win the Brazilian Grand Prix, and now he's happy to join us. I'm amazed he's that fussy about which Formula 1 team he joins, considering he's not in Formula 1. Do you know what? I'll leave this down to you guys in the comments. What shall I do about the test driver? Because I could either get Jean Alesi now, but I'm not sure if I'd be able to afford his salary as well. But I will get him for 2 seasons. I will get him for this season and next season. But the fact is, if I get Jean Alesi, one of those 3 drivers is going to have to be a test driver, whether it be Frentzen, Berger or Alesi. One of those guys would have to be the test driver next season, unless I dropped him, but then I'd have to pay for that, so that'd be pointless. And also, if I got Jean Alesi, I'd have to get him instantly, in which case he would be the test driver, and that would be a very expensive test driver. Or what I could do is I could make Olivier Panis the test driver. I could do that, but then, I don't know. It depends. It's up to you guys. I could get Jean Alesi now and make Panis a test driver, and then make Frentzen the test driver next season, which just seems ridiculous, having drivers as good as Panis and Frentzen as test drivers. Or I could get Taki and Yue for this season, hope Jean Alesi is still available next season, and then try and sign Jean Alesi at the start of next season. I'll leave that for you guys to put down in the comments as to, well, what I should do with Jean Alesi, because I would like to get Jean Alesi, because then we can keep Renault engines, and I've got Frentzen as a safeguard so we can get Mercedes engines. In fact, I wouldn't even mind getting Mercedes engines, because I've won with Renault engines before, including in this series. I've played this game before, and I've won with Ferrari engines. I don't think I've ever really used Mercedes engines, so it would be a nice change, but at the same time, I would really value getting Jean Alesi, so yeah, but I just don't know if I can afford him. Well, here we go, qualifying. There's something really tense about doing qualifying through this way. And Benetton have come out on top. Well, why am I not surprised? Benetton have come out on top by 0.8 of a second. Mika Häkkinen has taken pole position, Barrichello's in second. Then it's Panis, who once again has outqualified his teammate Gerhard Berger. But look at how close it was. Panis beat Gerhard Berger by only 1,000th of a second. And it's similarly close at the Benetton camp as well, because Häkkinen only beats Barrichello by 2,000ths of a second there as well. But I think it's... yeah, it is, isn't it? It's still one row is occupied by one team. Benetton, Jordan, McLaren, Ferrari, Williams, Sauber, Minardi, Pacific, 40, Arrows and Simtek will occupy their respective rows, apart from Simtek, who won't be occupying any row because they are... they're getting closer. It's difficult to... it's easy to forget, but Pacific were dreadful at the start of last season. The first few races, they struggled to make it within the 107% rule as well. This is nothing new for a new team. Simtek are just doing the exact same thing as Pacific, but one thing I will say is they are getting closer. They're only... well, I say only, they're still 2.3 seconds off of the 107% cut-off time, but they're getting closer. The 1998 Argentine Grand Prix is underway, and it's still both Benettons on both Jordans, but I think Gerhard Berger, is he about to pass Panis? No, he isn't. I don't know if there was a lead change up at the front, but both Benettons were side by side. But I think it's still Häkkinen leading from Berger. Häkkinen leading from Barrichello. I was still in last season mode when Benetton had Häkkinen and Berger and we had Panis and Barrichello. Those were the days. I guess, to be fair, it's more of a balanced driver lineup. Because Häkkinen and Berger, I guess, are comparable drivers. Maybe from a 1996 perspective, I guess even from a 1996 perspective, I guess so. And Panis and Barrichello are comparable, so we've basically what we've done by swapping Berger for Barrichello is we've just levelled the playing field. Hang on, who's that? Rubens Barrichello. I don't think Barrichello's quite worked out that that stopping an extra time doesn't work. Damon Hill in the Sauber's retired. Right, okay, but Barrichello, this is the third race in a row now where he is stopping really early, stopping an extra time. But I don't see how that works, because he's coming out in traffic. At some point he's going to have to do a long stint. And while you can defend really easily, you can't overtake easily. And how are you supposed to overtake when you've got more fuel? I just do not see any possible scenario where pitting in early is helpful. Just how can it be? Unless you're starting from pole position and you pull out at the start. But he didn't because Hakkinen was in first, so who knows, honestly. I mean, so Barrichello, actually no, I'm trying to think. I remember there were a couple of occasions in the last season. I can't remember whether it was Panis or Barrichello. I think it was Barrichello though, but there were a couple of occasions where one of my drivers wanted to do a 2-stop and the other one wanted to do a 3-stop, and I always made them both do a 2-stop apart from at Hockenheim where it's a 1-stop. And you know, I think whoever the team boss of Benetton is, Flavio. It is, isn't it? It's Flavio Briatore. And I think Flavio should be putting that same sort of forceful thing across. He really should be clamping down on Barrichello and saying, no, your strategy's rubbish. Because I did the same thing. And Flavio seems like the sort of guy who would. Although, to be fair, I don't know. Well, Flavio, I mean, apparently, this is something I didn't know. I was going to say until recently, but I mean, I never knew it when I was watching Flavio when he was still in F1. But apparently Flavio didn't really care about... Well, care is probably not the right word, but he wasn't really a fan of racing. You know, it was a job, being a team principal, you know, managing a racing team. Apparently it wasn't a passion. So Flavio probably wouldn't have a clue what to do on strategy anyway, so... But then again, Flavio, oh, what a guy. What a guy. We need him back in the F1 paddock because he was entertaining, certainly. But anyway, Barrichello... Well, Barrichello's only 4/10 behind his teammates, so for the moment it's worked, but now he's going to get stuck up behind Hakkinen. So what advantage is this going to gain him? Nothing. I mean, if Hakkinen comes into the pits right now, because Hakkinen's going to have to come in soon, Barrichello might take the lead, but if Hakkinen... I don't know, I think Barrichello coming in early might... I don't think he'll lose out that much time because plainly both of our drivers are slower than both Benettons. And in fact, actually, Jacques Villeneuve's in 4th, so we don't quite have the same pace here in Buenos Aires as we did in Interlagos. Yeah, Barrichello's only 9/10 behind Hakkinen, but then he's coming to the pits again. So I think everybody's done their final pit stop. I mean, look, we're 1 minute 11... No way. Mika Hakkinen has retired. I was just about to say, we're 1 minute 11 seconds behind him. Well, now we're ahead of him. Okay, so, right. I mean, one thing that is plainly clear, regardless of whether Barrichello's strategy was to protect Hakkinen, regardless, whatever's going on with Barrichello, the fact of the matter is that both Benetton drivers have been quicker than everyone else, including our drivers, this Grand Prix. Simple as. In fact, Villeneuve has been very good. I think Villeneuve is slightly unlucky not to have jumped Panis. Coulthard's retired, so that has promoted Johnny Herbert up into the points. God, I remember the first season in this series where Johnny Herbert just kept retiring all the time. I remember it was an achievement when Johnny Herbert finished the race. And then last season, he didn't really do a great deal. I mean, he was thrashed comprehensively by Martin Brundle. But yet, despite that, Williams, they've given him the chance, maybe to save money, who knows, but Johnny Herbert, he's going to score a point in that Williams, but more importantly, Rubens Barrichello is going to take his first win for Benetton. And there you go. He's beaten his ex-teammate by 42 seconds. Barrichello, I don't know what his strategy was, but it's worked out for him in the end. Berger was, well, 2 thousandths less than a second behind, so Berger could so easily have taken third, but as I said, Villeneuve put a spanner in the works. He just got in the way, unfortunately. And Katayama... Okay, I was going to say Katayama beat Irvine, but Irvine retired. And Irvine has now spun off for the second race in a row. And in fact, whoa! Mika Häkkinen's retirement was caused by an engine failure. Oh, the Renault engine. The Renault engine is very reliable, but it has broken down, it has blown up a few times in this series. And I'm pretty certain, I'm just thinking this now, but I'm pretty certain most of the time, if not every single time a Renault engine has blown up, it's been in Häkkinen's car. The Drivers' Championship. Barrichello, amazingly, well, surprisingly, Barrichello is leading the Drivers' Championship. He's 5 points ahead of Mika Häkkinen and 6 points ahead of Gerhard Berger. And it's very much those three are ahead of everyone else, because then behind then it's just people who are on single-figure points. Villeneuve, Schumacher, Panis, Katayama. Those people are quite a way down, and all of the Benetton, Jordan, McLaren, Williams, and Ferrari drivers have all scored points, and then every driver from every other team hasn't scored points. And then the Constructors' Championship, I imagine... Well, of course Benetton are leading it. They got first and second in the Drivers' Championship. They are leading it. I'm actually surprised by how much they are leading it, to be fair. I thought we would have been a bit closer than that, but... Still, I mean, this season it's difficult to call. Because Benetton have been very quick, but not at every Grand Prix. We've been very quick, but not at every Grand Prix. And it's the same for Williams and the same for Ferrari. Well, not the same for Williams, sorry. I just saw they were third in Constructors, no. But it's been the same for Ferrari, the same for McLaren. Williams, though, I'm surprised Williams are joint third in the Constructors standings. But, well, I mean, Ferrari, they lost out on 14 points at the Brazilian Grand Prix. So Ferrari, if they got those extra 14 points, they would be on... They'd be on 23 points. Yeah, they'd be second in the Constructors' Championship easily. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and also be sure to comment about the test driver situation. Whether I should get... Actually, I wonder if Sean Lacey would still want to be with us. Probably. We finished second and fourth. That should be good enough for Jean Lacey. But yes, yeah, be sure to comment whether we should try and sign Lacey immediately or at the end of the season. And then thus, if we get Lacey at the end of the season, I'll just get Taki and Yue to try and build up a cash reserve. Because paying for Berger, Lacey and Frenson's salary simultaneously, that's going to drain the bank balance regardless of what sponsors we have. So, yeah. But yes, yeah, be sure to leave a comment over what I should do with the whole Jean Lacey situation. And yeah, and that means Frenson will be a test driver, and Panis will be a test driver if we get Lacey instantly. But yes, yeah, be sure to leave a comment down about that, and I'll see you guys in the next episode where we'll be kicking off with the European Grand Prix around the Nürburgring.